Hey, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How it's a good word.
Good. How are you?
So good.
Good, good. I'm just seeing if
Just
we are live on the other channels and we on YouTube. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see, we should be on Twitch as well. So let's see what we have going on. How is everybody?
Cool.
What's good this week so far?
well, right now I'm just glad I could connect all the channels here and make this work.
I love this. This is so cool. I can't wait to play with this more. I'm curious to see what it looks like on all the channels.
Yeah.
Yep. For me, I'm awesome. My students, I teach music industry entrepreneurship, and they did their first presentations on their project ideas yesterday, and it went really well. I'm really excited to see the second half tomorrow.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Uh I mean, we've been doing a lot. Like we just also relaunched the website today at Music Industry City. So this was part of the announcement. Like we're just going to start testing this out. We're doing so. Anybody that's actually tuned in right now, if the stream showed up and you clicked on it, hi, welcome. Drop something in the chat. We're going to see if like we're on so many different platforms right now, so we don't know how much of the chat comes in. So it's kind of like I'm going to be monitoring all the different platforms. But anyway, so that was the big thing, Music Industry City, with the relaunch, and we're starting the show. And we're just going to do casual conversation. So if you want to just jump some, say something in the chat, go ahead. This is not like a panel. This is us chilling out. I mean, maybe I'll even play some music.
Yes.
Oh, please. Oh, nice. And as you
So
were just literally
hey,
saying, introducing yourself, I just want to say that my project, Music Green, is launching in 10 days. And tomorrow we've got our first NFT collection dropped. I just want to say that because we're really excited.
Congratulations.
awesome! Yeah. Where's the sound effects? We need sound effects like applause.
Yeah, we do.
Yo,
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
Thank
there
you,
we go. Yeah,
Angela.
yeah. I'll just do the.
By
Hey, I
the
see
way, this is not
Sarah.
just every
I see
call we do.
Sarah's in the audience. I see
Hi,
Doug's there.
Sarah.
What's
Hi,
up?
Doug.
D-Fresh. What's the good
What's
word, everybody?
happening? Hmm.
We have
Hello.
no script today. We're just testing this out. We're trying things out. We're going to do like different, hey, camera zooms. And Mariana, so what are you up to?
No,
There we
Love
go.
I
it.
explicit asked to not be here in the spotlight, but apparently, it's a thing now.
It's
Getting,
a
getting,
thing. You
getting.
get you get the spotlight. We can put you up even like on the on this
Wow,
and
look at that.
yeah.
My face doesn't even seem to be aligned in the middle as your face. I don't know why.
Here, here we go. So there we go. Look at this.
No, please
Oh,
don't.
look.
Oh, look at
Hey,
that,
that's
guys.
how we introduce yourself. Introduce
Looks like I'm
yourself.
on the news.
I
Oh,
love it.
breaking news.
Here. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it's like urgent. Well, so tomorrow is launching. I'm really, really excited, and I'm really happy to be here with you guys as well. And also with you rebranding the music industry city website. So that's exciting.
Right on, right on. So, let's go over back to where is she, Angela? All right, you're gonna get the screen now. All
Ooh,
right, and then
red light syndrome is
let's
a
see.
thing. It's like,
All right, Angela, why don't you shout yourself in? Here we go.
oh, oh man, Peter, that brings me back. I miss your clubhouse days. So I am Angela Rose. I teach, like I said, I teach music industry entrepreneurship at CU Denver, which named one of the top music business schools in the world by Billboard Magazine in 2022, which is cool. I also teach mental health first aid, so hopefully we'll chat a little bit about that today. But I'm really passionate about getting everyone trained in mental health first aid. So it is just like first aid, but it's for mental health. I've been teaching it through the lens of being in the music community. So I've taught groups from Universal Music Group and 1824 and Beggars Group. Now I really want to bring it to the Web3 community. So that is what I'm focused on today. And I
Right
did.
Amazing.
on, right on. Now let me press that button and get you off the screen here. Yeah, look at that. All right.
Uh,
Oh, we're gonna have so much fun with these. And I
Right.
guess I'll just I'll do I'll do here. Here's go. Hey, I'm Peter. Nyback Media about Music Industry City and Future Music Forum and Music Industry's online community. That we have discussion forums. We just relaunched the website today, so a lot for the members and everything. And then we also have Future Music Forum Barcelona, which is a conference in Barcelona. I kind of caught myself. I caught myself in a loop there. I felt
So
like
TD.
Austin Powers, like, please allow me to introduce myself.
Well, I know
And
what I
and
feel
for
like I
fun,
have
I
not
play
introduced.
this.
I feel like when you put me in the spotlight, I didn't say a word about like what it is that I do. So like, it's very confusing now. I was so excited
Oh,
about
okay.
being here. No,
All
no, I
right.
don't need
Well,
to be
what do
here
you do?
again.
No,
But
no,
I
yes, you
thought
totally have
No,
to be on
take
the
I
big
just
screen.
I skipped there. I just said, "Oh, I'm gonna release this tomorrow," and it's like, okay, but what is it? So I mean, hi guys. So anyway, I'm from the music industry, entertainment, and I'm bringing now well-being and sustainability activations into entertainment, which obviously I'm double what I'm talking again, and leveraging new technologies. So hence why we also launching an NFT collection tomorrow. But that's why we are all here connected, I suppose. Makes more sense now.
All right. It's all about being connected.
Exactly.
So,
Fun. So,
so let
Peter, if I
so
could
let's talk
real
about.
quick.
Yep.
Sorry, the your new website looks amazing. I've been playing on it some more too, and I started us a thread called "Grooving with Nature" for as the title of this. So as we
Oh,
go through the conversation today, if we have anything we want to share, we can drop it in that thread.
we can drop links in that thread. I like that because, I also have a thread here that I called Groovin with Nature as well. So
Oh,
we
which
should talk about a little about the show, the concept behind it and everything, which is kind of we were all just chatting. I was speaking. I've known Angela for a little while, and we met on crypto Twitter, NFT Twitter, a
Clubhouse?
little over a year ago. But then you end up working on NFT NYC.
Mhm.
I was like, hey, you're like, I'm going to volunteer, and I was like, I can get you like my assistant role as a stage manager.
It's
And
way
then by
better.
the last day, I'm like, you just run the stage. I'm leaving. I let Angela just call the show for like a couple hours. I'm like, I'm going back here. I don't feel like being on the stage anymore.
Dude, I was totally like a duck on a water. I was like cool and calm on the outside, and then underneath, I was like, I don't know what to do. It was
Feeling
great.
ducky. But we've always talked about the health and wellness and everything. And then I met Mariana in London. Well, London
Yeah.
NFT and it was NFT London, and we ended up the day after, like, we went out to just, like, for a drink and everything, and met up at a pub, and you just tell me all the stuff you have going on. And I was telling you about music industry, and you weren't even aware of that at the time. You just thought it was for the NFTs. And we're like, yo, we need to be doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, it was true. We actually met like, I don't know why, but like some point we were like in these dinners, right? Was it the speakers dinner thing? And then
Hmm.
somebody told me you've got to connect with Peter, and then we did, and then obviously we were doing very similar things. We were both doing a bunch of projects, which we both actually dropped at the same time because we realized we were trying to do too much, and now we are focusing on a field and trying to
Hmm.
execute them better.
Right. And then we were talking about doing some more, and then I'm just posting something in the music, and I'm replying to your comment, by the way, in the forum, Angela. Links, hosts, links. So I'm going to do this so everybody can follow along. If you just go to musicindustrycity.com, and there we go. That should be submitted. All right. So I just put all our links up there, and I also put them in the chat to break them down. But if you go to musicindustrycity.com, you sign up. You can do the free version, and you can do monthly, or you can sign up $67 for life, and you get a pin. Did I show you the pins?
No, you
I
told us
didn't show
about
you
them.
the
Oh, they
pins.
look
I
so
told you about,
good.
but I got the pins.
Oh, they
Yeah,
look so
the,
good.
Yeah, they're cool because they're not like this full pin. They're different than what I expected. They're kind of this behind this plastic, which actually is kind of cooler.
Cool.
So so maybe if I
Yeah,
just put this on, ow, you're not supposed to supposed to pull the shirt out a little bit first. Okay, that's it.
I
See
just
how my
replied to
mental
your
health's going.
message on music industry. And I suppose that also how we got here is that, due to, because we are obviously work with well-being and sustainability, then Peter said you've got to meet Angela, which is
Hmm.
why I then message you, because it's very much aligned with what we are doing in many ways. Yeah, and I suppose that's how we all end up here, and it's so exciting that we are bringing something a little bit fresher to the entertainment industry, I suppose. And Angela, you've been very much involved in the music industry as well, with obviously mental health and all of that. And I think it's so important, as it's a subject not, I think, explored well enough. For there's so many people that actually suffer. Like every day I talk to people who are struggling, and they don't talk about it at all. Like even on calls, when you jump on calls, people are so stressed out, they are so burnt out. And I think even like raising a question to you, Angela, how do you kind of mentor, I suppose, and advise people from entertainment, well, from any industry, but we're talking entertainment like right now, just because we are all from that, to kind of, what's the first step for them to have a bit of a better attitude towards that, because most of people are not completely burnt out.
Yeah, it's interesting. You used an interesting word because yes, like how do I advise, or what advice do I provide? And I try not to give advice at first.
Hmm.
This is something I learned through the mental health first aid curriculum, where we live in a world where we're constantly trying to give advice or fix things or find solutions. And I'm very solutions oriented. So when someone comes to me, it's like I always want to help. But when you're talking with someone about their mental health, sometimes they don't want to be fixed. They don't want a solution. They just want to be heard and they just want to be seen. Um, so I can go through kind of the action plan
Oh,
right now, but I think it's a little bit early. Instead, what I'd say is
I
I use statements. Oh, Peter, we
Hmm.
can say them.
oh no, go on, go on. I'm not. I don't want to interrupt the flow, but I have a comment on that.
But some tactical tools I use is I try to use I statements. So if I'm recognizing something, I say things like, look, I noticed you haven't been coming to practice, or I noticed you haven't been playing, right?
Hmm.
Using I statements helps start the conversation, saying I noticed, because you can see when I say I noticed you haven't been coming to practice, that feels very different than you haven't been coming to practice, right? You can just feel how those are like received differently. And then asking open-ended questions like, do you want to talk about it? Do you want to go get a cup of coffee? Giving them the space to talk about it. Uh, One other tool I've been using that's worked very well is asking people, how are you? And you say, oh, good, great, fine. How are you? Good, great, fine. And then I follow up immediately and say, how are you really? And then I stop talking. And you would be shocked at how honest people will be when you create that space for them. Like you hear a lot today is like how, oh, you got to create space for people. You got to create space for, but how do you actually do that? This is a really good, simple way you can do right now is say, how are you really? But then the key is to stop talking, right? So if you're one of those folks where you always want to fill the space, that might feel really awkward to you at first. But if you actually give someone the space to think about what you've just asked and then respond authentically, you might be surprised at how much people will share because you've given them a space to do so. And then
Hmm.
if they share something vulnerable, again, try not to fix it or provide solutions. Sometimes people just need to hear, yeah, that sucks. Full
Yeah,
stop.
Yeah, it's that's
knowledge.
what I was like. I think from like the listener standpoint, sometimes people just need to say words to get it, like, the term, get it off your chest, get it out of your mind. It's like they just want to get it out, and it's like it's helped from the kettle setting off the whistle.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just see people just want to be heard, and they don't want a solution, they don't want a suggestion, they just want to say, I'm like, Angela, I'm like, oh my god, sir, like, it's like, and sometimes like, oh, you're being dramatic. It's like, no, this is how some people just get it off, so the water doesn't boil over. It's like, oh my god, this email today from this client, it was the most ridiculous email. They were saying this, we already talked about it, I'm like, why are they still doing this? I'm banging my head against the wall. This is just ridiculous. And I'm better. And like, Angela, thank you for listening. Like, I'm better. But if you start telling me, well, you should do this, I'm like, okay, I already did that. Well, then you should do this. I already, like, out of context, like trying to solve somebody's problems without knowing anything. Like, nobody asked you. I didn't ask you. So, what I started doing, because I also know that I've done that at times where I've like, oh, wait, did you do this? Did you do that? Like, we all do it. Okay.
Don't
What
shit
I
on people.
started to do, yeah, what I started to do is like, I'm like, I would even say, I'm like, are you venting? Like, because I'm here for that, or do you want me to give you some ideas? Not even
Yes.
suggestions. Do you want me to give you some ideas? And that's where I also look at it because in multiple roles, what I've done in my life, like I've been a consultant or I've been a coach, two different things.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. One says, you need to go do this. You need to go do this, XYZ. The other is, have you thought about these different ways of approaching that? One's coach, one's consulting.
I love that. It's like, yes, I think anytime you hear yourself saying the word you should take a step back and like ask you that, like, are you shoulding on someone or are you shoulding on yourself too? Don't tell people what they should do. But I love Peter, I love your take on that too, because I do something similar but slightly different words where I ask is like, do you want me to just listen or do you want advice? So similar idea, but it's like let the person that's talking choose which path to take. Because I
And be
also
heard, right? Because I think
yeah,
that, after all, you want to be heard.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
So
and it's like, and that also leads to getting people defensive. If I'm just trying to vent, and it's like, I'm just trying to say I don't need, and it's like, well, then why did you come to me? I'm like, because we're friends and event. I actually I had lunch with somebody, and like, I said this, and she started like telling me all the reasons, like all these issues, and blaming. She was blaming me. I was like, okay, you need to not be in my life anymore. Like attack it, like she was, and then I said to her, why is this happening? Because I started feeling defensive. She's like, now you're attacking me, and I've never been attacked. And I give consulting, I give this business advice in my life. This is what I do. And I'm like, I said this. I was just making a statement. And she's like, well, you shouldn't have asked me. I'm like, I never put a question mark at the end of a statement. So
Hmm.
by the end of this, well, two things happened. One was I was actually really agitated. So I was already stressed. Now I got more stressed out. And then, but by the end of it, I was like, yeah, this person, don't need them in my life if this is how they're going to be. So, you have to sometimes go through things to move on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's also very important to surround yourself with people, as you just mentioned now, Peter,
Mm,
that is gonna they will lift you up, and in all aspects, because I think we all went through toxic, and I think we all also are these toxic people at some point in our lives. I mean, I've been toxic previously when I was not in a good space, and I think that nobody's a toxic person. We just go through toxic phases that we come out, but depending on how many of those people you have around you can really affect your life. And I think what you just say now, Peter, makes a lot of sense of saying, I don't want you in my life right now. It doesn't mean never again, but it means right now is just not being a contribution,
mm,
and what I have to do. And that can be a work, a relationship, whatever. I think that, it's really important. It makes such a difference. I think we all also had those toxic, like, working environments and whatever it is that really, really affected you. I know is important. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not qualified to give advice, but I suppose I share from experience because I walked the
mhm.
talk. So that's pretty much what I can share, for
yeah.
sure.
I think you hit
Right
on an
on.
interesting point too, because I've certainly, I'm sure I've been in that toxic role too, and I've come out of it. I've also experienced that on the receiving side as well. And I feel really fortunate. I'm a part of my career where I can choose more or less who I get to work with. Um, and sometimes you do, though. Sometimes you have to walk away from those toxic work environments, personal relationships, romantic relationships. It's like If you come out of that conversation with someone always feeling bad about yourself, that sucks. And you know what? At the end of the day, the person you're going to spend the most time with for the rest of your life is going to be yourself. And so that's where also self care can come in too. Self care has become very glamorized, and I have a lot of thoughts about self care, but sometimes self care is walking away from an important relationship if you always feel bad after interacting in that relationship. And so that can be really hard, but that can be a form of self care.
Self-love,
Self
right?
love. I love
Which is,
that.
yeah, which is the most important thing, in your life, really, is yourself. Because if you're not good with yourself, then and nothing else matters, right? And hello to Katie.
Hey, I'm loving this conversation. I was like in the backstage here just watching, and I'm like, should I say hi? Shouldn't I? I was just so
Yeah.
entertained, and I'm just like feeling very blessed to be part of this today because this is such an important matter, you know? It's so many demands that we have in our daily lives, and to keep up honoring yourself, having your own back while you have everyone else's back at the same time, it can be quite challenging. It can be quite challenging, but we can totally do this. And that's what we're here for, you know? I really believe that I agree 100% with everything you guys said. And what I can add is like being kind to you. You got to be kind to yourself because that's no other way. We cannot expect someone else to be kind with us if we do not be. And many of us get kindness in a very interesting way. A lot of things that we bought that were kind, they're not. And we got to know what is actually true for us in order to be kind, you know? So like I had some problems on the internet here, and for like a couple minutes, I was that close to feel bad about myself for something that was outside of my control happening. And then I look at it and I'm like, well, I have a couple of choices here. I can feel bad about me, or I can feel that's fine. That's okay. I'm not going to judge. And how can I still have their back? Because I committed to be here. I know I can be a contribution for everyone that is going to watch. So I was just like, okay, whatever is supposed to be will be for the highest good. And I'm just going to be present with whatever shows up. And then instead of coming here and looking like I've done something wrong, because we tend to do this, I'm just giving this as a little example, but we kind of do this in many parts of our lives. And this is totally connected to mental health because you got to be good with yourself. You got to get out of the judgment of you. If you stop judging you, making yourself wrong for little things, you gonna be your best friend. You gonna be so good with hanging out with yourself, and then everything's gonna turn out much, much greater, much better. That's what I practice with me, and it works. It works. So I can be less judgmental. If I can be less judgmental of me, then I can be less judgmental of you. And then when I go talk to you, and then we go, create something or do something together, it's going to be so much better and so much more space. I don't have to tell you what's right, what's wrong, or either be right or wrong. Let's just see how can we contribute with each other here and see what's something greater that can show up from this encounter, from every single encounter we have in our lives. So yeah, I'm very grateful for this.
I love Angela when you do this. Seriously, it's so cool.
I love.
Angela, Angela, do that. I'll do the.
I love it. This is so cool. Oh my gosh.
I love it
Seriously.
so hard.
This is amazing.
I almost didn't resolve it and left everybody hanging.
Don't do that. That's mean.
Do re mi fa sol la ti.
You gotta finish it. You gotta finish.
This is like so
Don't leave
fun.
me hanging, Amanda.
I did so. As a pianist, I went to a music school and everything, and we had a recital hour, and so I wrote a piece of music, very 20th century, interesting piece. It was in three movements, and the whole thing was maybe a minute 48 seconds. Like it was like 12, like there was like 12 bars was like the first movement. The last one was, it was like this, you go into the third movement, it's like but the down, but the down, and I do this run from the lowest F on the piano, hand over hand, crazy, but like just insane run all the way to the top, and I hit the note just before the resolve note, and I slammed the piano down. I slammed the hood down with the sustain pedal, so it echoes. So you hear the boom, but all the notes and the strings echoes, and I walk off the stage.
I'd be so mad. So you never resolve it?
Never
Oh,
resolve it.
No.
I'm mad. I didn't even hear it. I'm mad.
There's
I like
people. It still hasn't been resolved, and this is like 30 years ago.
Well, this is the space to share, Peter. Thanks for sharing. Amazing holding
Doesn't
this
have to be resolved.
Yes. Love this. Seriously. I love this so
So
much.
it's building up the tension and release.
Yes, yes. I love this. And I think that also, and I think because we were talking about all of this, and then as Katie now joined, also to talk a bit sustainability a little bit, right? Because this is another topic that is very dear to our hearts. Because as we mentioned before backstage, Angela, last time, sustainability to us is well-being in general. We are not talking here about sometimes when you talk to people about this, people think like you are coming from these hippie vibes, hold on a sec.
I would love
Yeah,
to jump on this.
Oh yeah, no, of course I wouldn't jump. I just had a message that something went wrong
Me
with
too. Me too.
Yeah? Okay.
I
So I
didn't.
was
I didn't.
thinking
Yeah.
if we are still all good here. I don't know.
Yeah, we're good. We're still
It
streaming.
says to me to click to reload the page, but I haven't
Me
clicked
too.
because I'm
Me
not
too.
sure if that would be like the piano. I felt like this would be the digital version of this piano you just described. So I thought, I'm not gonna click on it, sorry. But just to conclude, and Katie jump in. So sometimes we talk about like being a well-being sustainable project. People are like, oh, but that's a bit hippie kind of thing, And that's a very interesting perspective, that for you to be like this, you've got to be hippie, kind of, living the woods kind of thing. You can't be doing entertainment and all of that. And, Katie, I would love to obviously bring you that, and obviously Angela as well. What you faced working in the music industry as well, and the barriers, because now we are talking about it, but we were not talking about it definitely 10 years ago. Like it wasn't a subject. Even now it's not. Can you imagine 10 years ago? I don't remember at all this being a thing.
Well, this thing that you just said about the hippie thing, to me, is just barriers. People will put barriers to whatever. It's like they create concepts, they create judgments, and they have like kind of fixed points of views and perceptions in regards to anything, and that just stops us. That just stops them, in my perception, from receiving contribution from that, whatever that is. So, for example, if I say like, I don't like white caps, and then Peter shows up with a white cap, and then I'm like, I don't want to talk to this dude because I don't like white caps. So it's basically
talk to me, speak to me.
Oh,
like
you're fast.
Well, you're fast. I just changed my mind. So let's go back to the example. Like I could literally use this as an excuse to not communicate with you, create with you, contribute with you. And that's what our minds is doing all the time. Computing things, using all these thoughts and reasons, justifications as an excuse for us to do not be together, creating with each other and contributing, So, but now going to the sustainability thing is like, we're talking about sustainability. How can we actually have resources to create, to engage with more impactful causes where it can actually contribute greater with nature and planet? How can I invite people to be that if they are still completely disconnected from themselves? That's not going to work. You can only you can only feel that or perceive that is important once you know you are actually part of this ecosystem. You are. I know it's kind of obvious, but it's not, because a lot of people are walking here like zombies and they're completely disconnected from their own nature. And people who are disconnected from their own nature, they cannot be connected with the nature, with the planet. So our, I would say goal, but it's like, we're actually passionate about, it's like inviting people, using music as this powerful tool for people to reconnect with themselves, with the joy that they are, with the joy that we are here, that is available for all of us to be. And then let's have some fun while changing this place for a better place, because it's possible. It's easy, and it's right here available for us to choose it. That is the thing. The lie is that it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of work, and maybe we're never going to be able to do. No, bullshit. We are too powerful. We are very powerful. When we come together, boom, nothing can hold us back, you know? So we really believe in this, and we created Music Ring as this amazing possibility to, well, we know this is possible. Let's do this. It's time. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we can say, but I know that each one of us knows something so special about things here that are possible. And we're here to inspire people to know that what they know is possible actually can come true. So follow the good. All of these noises, I will call noises, the sounds that I have. This is what I find with music. How can all these things that were just in my head now be able for everybody to hear it? This is so cool. This is not right. This was just in your head days ago, and now listen. Everyone can listen with me, can sing with me, and we can all go to this space and place in this energy together. How fucking amazing that is. So to me, music is this thing that can take us to this amazing space and place. And sustainability is, in our perception, is all about it.
Right
Amazing.
on. Right on.
Mm. And Angela, what was like, I mean, I'm kind of, I don't know, it's not a panel at all. I'm just asking questions because I'm actually genuinely interested. But, when you start to work with like, mental health and in the music industry, what were like, I'm sure you found some barriers as well to kind of develop the concept and being able to connect with the industry. And how did you overcome this, and how did you manage to you know what I mean, to keep like strong in the message that you were trying to send across? Because as I said, from the entertainment, I know that it's not that easy to come across with the message. Even us, we're facing so many challenges now with music bringing and getting the message across. So many people are like, oh, I don't know about that. So how did you do, and how did it work for you?
Yeah, it's interesting that like it's we could unpack that for a very long time. So a couple things that come to mind first is, there is still, we talk a lot about stigma in the mental health world. There's still some stigma in the musician community. It's like, oh, I have to be this kind of starving artist. I have to use substances to be creative. I have to work multiple jobs. And there is like, actually, let me share my screen because there was a really beautiful study done. And this was before COVID. Let's see if I can share my screen here. So let me know if you guys can see those. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this was a study done in the UK. It was in 2016, but I find the results to be still very, very relevant, where these are kind of 12 findings that they found after doing a survey plus music. I always take musicians through this because it helps validate some of their feelings, and it also gives them words to kind of put to maybe some of the feelings that they've been having. So like the first relationship to find them. But then you also go to number 3, which music makers can be reflective and highly self-critical and exist in an environment of constant critical feedback. So that's a very different world to live in as an artist, where you are putting yourself into your work. And not only are you self-criticizing you and your work, you have other people in the industry. Sometimes it's their job to criticize your work, which is hard to not take personal when you're putting yourself in that. I guess you could make the argument doctors are critical, but it's different, right? Like people aren't critiquing a doctor's work, right? A doctor just goes to work and does their work. And musicians aren't often paid well, right? That's why I'm very excited for the Web3 community to grow in the music NFT space, because I see some really wonderful musicians making a sustainable living and a sustainable career. Like we're actually building a middle class. That's amazing, right? Like you don't need all these folks. And I'm always reminded, I went to the Music Biz conference in Nashville in 2018, and the whole place was buzzing. They were like, oh, this is great. The music industry is making money again. Streaming has made us a profitable industry again. This is great. But then you look at where the money is going for streaming, and only a fraction of a penny is going to the artist. So where's the rest of that money going? It's going to all the industry players. And that's not sustainable for an artist who wants to do this. And I always like to say, those of us that do music for a living, we don't do it because we like to or we think it's fun. We do it because we have to, right? Like it's in our bones and in our soul. And so for me, the barrier is just education and knowledge. Like folks really feel really passionate, and what I want to do is intervene before they hit burnout, before they hit a mental health crisis, and say, here's how you can take care of yourself. Here's the things to be aware of. Every industry has their ups and downs, but let's talk about the both openly and shine some light on it. And here's some tools, healthy tools that you can use to navigate the industry. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll go ahead and stop sharing here. But to me, those are the biggest barriers, just education, knowledge, right? Like getting the information in front
I
of
love
folks.
you say that. And just I want to add one information on that I shared in my last talk in this panel, which is basically like the Web3 space. We don't need to dive in too much on that because I don't think we want to touch base on that too much. But what you say now is very important, that for an artist to make like $5,000 on streaming, they have to have like 1 million streams. While in the Web3 space, if you've got 100 solid fans paying $50 each, you made the 5K, and you own your masters and you own your music. So if you think about that, I'm not saying it's easy, okay? But from experience, building 100 solid fans is achievable, while having 1 million streams is not that easy at all. Like most artists, they've got 10, 15,000, 20,000 streams. It's a lot of streams. And once you also, are able to have 1 million streams, those 5,000, you have to split with your producer, songwriter, whoever else is on the song. So you might actually make like 800 quid out of that. So just, as a comparison, that if you do show up and build your community, it is possible. As you said, Angela, I'm not saying that you're going to be a millionaire, but it's possible to live out of music, not only survive, to actually make a living and build and sustain that community and grow that community steadily. I just wanted to share.
There's actually,
I think a lot of artists don't realize that,
100%. And there was a thread in Music Industry Cities about streaming. Peter, I remember replying to that, where I was trying to find it. But
Yeah, you go over to discussion forum, and then you'll see it in the discussion forum. Let's see, where is that? I can pull that up here.
Yeah, musicians in the streaming era who really benefits. There it is.
Yep. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Actually, so I'm going to take that and I can drop this topic in here. Let's see if it goes out. If I drop it into the chat here, it should go out to at least some of our platforms. I don't know if it goes out to all the platforms, the connected ones. I know it goes out to like Facebook or maybe YouTube, but hopefully it goes out to the others. Yeah, so this one it was a great topic. Streaming is a state of flux. Streaming service often in the center of the debate. Unfair advantage. A lot of the people are saying like unfair advantage and favoring big names and corporations. But what does it mean for everyday musicians? And one of the areas is we're seeing, and this is, how people consume music. And there's this shift that's been happening. And when we talk about Web3 and NFTs, and people listening, it's kind of having that little piece of ownership again, like going back to downloading the original iTunes. downloading the song. And you can go stream it someplace, but you can also then just download it and you can have it. And there is something about that with the artwork and everything. But, they're talking about legislative reform and, I don't know if anybody watched the State of the Union last night. It didn't talk necessarily about streaming, but Biden approached like fairness and wages, but also then talked about ticketing. And
Nice.
didn't
Yeah, I
quite
heard that.
mention that. Didn't quite go right up to and say Ticketmaster, but we all knew. It was like
It was implied.
it was kind of there. I mean, um, but yeah, I mean, but the thing that what we were looking at that's happened in the last couple of years is that change of the model is that all talent is rewarded fairly, regardless of the size and clout, which is difficult. But there are like ways to be able to put this in place, and that's where SoundCloud started changing to the artist centric model. So as opposed to just like, flat rates going out, it's if I pay a subscription and I listen to Katie more than I listen to Angela, Katie's getting more of my subscription fee than Angela, as opposed to Mariana, which I don't even listen to Mariana at all ever. So why is she getting my money? So sorry, Mariana. Yeah.
It's okay. I know it's all about connect to the piano situation. It's an effect, not taking personal.
Yeah. Well, that isn't that rule one of the four habits. Don't take things personally.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And
Yeah.
you know
Four
what?
agreements.
It's
Yes.
an everyday process. That
Hmm.
when I was doing coaching, because therapy I've been doing for a long time, and then 3 years ago I started doing coaching, which is a completely different thing. And it changed my perspective a lot on things. But anyway, and I thought, wow, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna be fine. And then you kind of just learn that it's every day. Like you've got, at least for me, I've got to apply those tools every single day. Like, from morning to evening, morning routines, and, all these things to be able to be sane. Seriously. I don't know. I think people are different, right? But for me, it's every day,
Yeah.
every single day. Like not trying to take it personal, not let the external factors affect you. Like Kate was talking about the internet. Not let, because every day there's something that will trigger something. And I don't know.
Can we talk a little bit about morning routines? This is top of mind for me because I'm
Yay,
putting
I
together
love it.
I'm putting together my lecture for my class next week. So this week the students are giving their presentations on their entrepreneurship project ideas, but next week I'm doing a lecture on time management. And so I've been doing a little bit of research too on morning routines and time management and the different techniques that are out there. And I came across a really interesting article recently because about picking your phone up as the first thing you do in the morning. And I know a lot of people do it. I used to do it. So it's like the first thing I wake up, I roll over, I grab my phone, and I start scrolling. They actually have some science behind that now. And what's happening is, I won't pull up the presentation, I won't teach you, but you start with your sleep brain waves, right, which are real low, and then you have two other brain wave sets before you get to the beta, which is where you're active, awake. What happens is when the first thing you do, if you roll over and grab your phone first thing, you're skipping those two in between brain waves between sleep and awake. You're basically immediately putting your brain into dopamine seeking mode. And so you're priming yourself for distraction for the rest of the day. And so what I've done actually 90 days ago, because I've been counting, I started doing morning pages. And so if anyone's familiar with the Artist Way or the morning pages, it has been phenomenal in like my morning routine, because now instead of rolling over, grabbing my phone, I roll over, grab my journal, and just stream of conscious write for 3 pages. And it helps me wake up. I have a much more relaxed morning. It also puts off before my first cup of coffee, which they also say it's actually better to wait till you are fully awake to have that cup of coffee instead of trying to have it when you're still in that sleepy, dreamy place.
Oh, wait,
I know.
really?
I
Really? Oh,
know
that's oh no.
I know
Oh
some people
no.
might be
Oh
mad
no.
about
Oh
that.
no.
I didn't like it either, but now it's like I do exactly. But being able to write for 3 pages and then drink water first, which I wasn't drinking enough water either, it's just been a
Yeah.
game changer for me. So
Look,
That's a big thing. Japan is it's like they always have it, and of course I'm only just getting this off the internet, so I can't say that I've been to Japan, but they like it's a big thing to drink a glass of water before going to bed, or the first thing you do when you wake up, drink water. And there's always been said, drink water when you wake up, or like a lemon water, or um, cider, apple cider vinegar. Oh, a
It's
little
Oh
so
shot
yeah,
of the
hard
apple
to
no,
do,
you're
cider
right. It's
vinegar.
honestly.
actually it's actually good. Apple vinegar and lemon and water in the morning
Yeah,
first thing. But Angela,
ginger.
I
Ginger,
changed
yum.
my morning routine 3 years ago when I went through this massive divorce experience, and then I went through this. I went to readjust.
Congratulations. By the way,
Thank
Yes,
you.
congratulations.
congratulations.
Anyway,
Yay,
let's
you got
look.
divorced. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yay. Anyway, so I'm actually the craziest person for morning routine. I'm very picky. I also don't do the phone, so I'm actually I have an extra 2 hour morning routine. So I wake up earlier to be able to do this. So I for 2 hours I'm not checking anything. I literally wake up earlier and I meditate. I do affirmations. I work out, and then when I come back home, I will check my phone inside my day. So, and that took me a while because you do have this thing of hitting the snooze button. You have to be very quick for you to get up. And then I start following Mel Robbins, which helps with the 5 second rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I get up and I start doing things. And that is extremely helpful. I actually thought when I first watched it, I was like, this is not gonna, and it does work a lot. And I'm very much in this morning routine. Of course, I think that not everybody needs to do 2 hours, but you are just saying now the phone. If at least you can do that, it's amazing because it is life changing. Because otherwise, you just start your day already stressed.
Yeah.
You are stressed because you're always going to see a message, an email, or something that you don't want to see, and I don't think that that's very healthy. So, definitely, if there is one habit to drop, I would say is the phone as well. Definitely.
Yeah, I saw some interesting commentary on that too. To that point, it's like yes, of course, there's always the challenge of seeing something stressful and then that triggering you for the rest of the day. Also, I saw someone comments like, if the first thing you do is roll over in bed and grab your phone, you're like actually inviting all those things into your bedroom now with you, into bed with you while you're scrolling, which also can have some weird, like interesting psychological effects potentially as well. So,
I'm
interesting take.
I am the worst person with the all right. So I have my iPad. Okay. iPad and phone are like basically they're the little spoon. It's like I go to that's how I go to sleep. I go to sleep watching um some entertainment on you like some YouTube entertainment videos, but a lot more about education. So I end up kind of falling asleep watching YouTube videos, but I always have my phone there at all times too. And like, so I wake up and I'll just check something in the middle. I'm like, wake up in the middle of the night, I'll check something, go back to sleep. But the problem is I keep on waking up and going back to sleep. And the first thing I do is like, oh, wait, let me pick up that video. I'm like, wait, then the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Mel Robbins thing doesn't work because my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is like, wait, if I can do one more video, I'll get to that. And but wait, now so actually, Angela, if I do that in the morning, if I keep the electronics in bed and I do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to stay with more educational videos, then I'm awake a little bit. I'll grab that little glass of water that's on my nightstand and then have my coffee later. I just solved my
There
whole
you
yeah.
go. It's all about working the
By
framework
staying in
together.
bed, it's they say don't have your mobile in your
Don't have
bedroom.
it. That's the thing. Don't
iPad.
even have it.
No,
He
no,
found
your
the loophole.
iPad.
He
See,
found the
instead
They
of the
don't
loophole.
have the
mobile,
iPad.
it says mobile on
Because
the iPad.
it's the lighting as well, Peter. I find that if you wake up at 3 a.m. and you look at the lighting, right? Because Angela just said that you are in that, in the sleeping mode, right? And then you get the lighting from the phone. That kind of wakes your brain up. It's
All
not
right.
good.
So I'll
Not good.
change my scene to red. So I actually did something. So I have all these lighting here, and I'm changing right now. I
Oh
have
my God.
regular office full where it's daylight. It's set to like 4,000 Kelvin. So it's more about energetic and natural daylight. Okay. So yeah, so this is coming into play right now. So you don't have a lot of front lighting right now, but then I have so you see how the whole room's getting bigger. Then I have my webcam setting, which this is what I normally have. So I have all this different lighting. But my thing is, I go from this office full, and I set this to scene. So when I wake up in the morning, and I come into the office, it's set to 80%, and then at like 10 o'clock in the morning, it goes to 100%. Very subtle, but I also change the temperature of the light bulb to reflect daylight and natural daylight. And then at 5 p.m. every day, or it takes 30 seconds to make this change, and I actually don't even notice it now. So this is what and I do have two multiple computer screens, so for me it's brighter up here. But see, this setting automatically changes to this zone at 5 p.m., which means I need to start wrapping up my day. Not saying I'm wrapping my day, because none of us ever wrap the day at 5 or 6, but start wrapping the day and at least get ready for like at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock to get ready to go do something else.
That's
And
cool.
then it goes back to another setting. So this is my webcam setting, so it's a little more front light, but I have zones to make different at different times to like go tell me to do something.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
cool. How did you get that set up? Like, what is that through?
It's LifeX. You can do it with Philips. You can go to Best Buy. You can find like those Philips, the light strips, the light bulbs. Because I have ceiling lights here, so we have it's like those flood kind of lights. But
Mhm.
LifeX, LIFX, is one
Nice.
company. The other
Okay.
is Philips is pretty good. Okay,
Okay.
and that you have an app, and you can also set it like you can connect them to your home, your Apple Home, and you can say, "Hey Siri, change my zone," or you can set a schedule. I know Siri never listens to me, and as soon as I say it, like I don't want to, she's like, "Oh, what do you want?" I'm like,
Yes.
yeah. So
It doesn't, but it
anyway,
does, because
yeah,
every time like you think about buying something, you start seeing all those things popping up. So they do listen to you. They just don't do what you ask them to,
yep.
because it's
So
it's
hey,
crazy.
see, did you hear Siri like just said something to me? I'm like, hey, stop that. So I know Katie has to get going, and actually we're going to we're going to kind of start wrapping up. So just hi to everybody again that is kind of tuning in on whatever platform. We might not be able to see all the chats, but say hi. Check out musicindustrycity.com, and we have a discussion forum going there for this. But Katie, I know you have to get going because you have to unfortunately deal with the
I
stress of
know.
going to an airport.
Well, that is the thing. If I make it stressful, it's gonna be stressful. So my morning routine, especially when I'm gonna travel, and if it's sunny, I wake up, work out, do a meditation, do something that brings me joy. I gotta do things that brings me joy. Otherwise, why I'm here? Being bored. There's no there's no point for me to be alive if I'm bored and I'm not having fun. So I gotta be having fun all the time. And it's like you just read it in my face when I'm not having fun. You're not gonna
Right
like me.
Definitely not. I've seen
All
that
right.
I mean,
version.
it's like
I,
there's no point for me to do not like myself. And usually when I'm like not having fun, I don't like myself. So like, no, I don't like to do not like myself. So I'd rather have fun. So I really have to go very soon
yeah.
because I have an airplane to catch. But like during the like even the Uber ride or whatever, I'm always engaging with things that they're gonna make me feel better about me. It could be like anything from a book that I read, a movie that I watch, or conversation that I listen, anything that has to create something great for my life. Otherwise, it's pointless. So I'm not going to waste my time engaging with profiles on social media that I'm going to start comparing myself and no, or so no, be selective or where you put your attention, who you're going to engage with, because you're going to get a lot of that energy, like it or not. Okay, I think that is my tip. And
Right on.
you know what works for you. We're different. You got to find out what works for you. That is the fun of life. You got to find out, and then you can change. If that stopped working, find something else and follow the fun, follow the joy. It was so
Awesome.
good to be here with you guys. I'm so grateful. I wish I could spend hours because there's too much to talk about and to explore. Like I'm looking forward to do this again.
All
Yes,
right. Looking
absolutely.
forward to it as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So one thing we like to do is shout yourself out. which is just tell people like, what's next, what are you looking forward to, what's next, where to find out more information about you, anything that you want to kind of just plug. And we do it like, just you got 30 seconds, no pressure.
Oh my gosh. All right. So
All right, so
can I start?
shout yourself out.
Okay. So you guys can find me online on Instagram as I am Katie Official. You guys can find Music Green on Maddie Entertainment Global. I'm really excited because Carnival, it's basically starting this weekend, and we have the launch of Music Green here on one of the biggest floats in Carnival. So then we have a lot of content to share with the world, and this is just the beginning. And please know that whatever is happening with you right now, you've got this. And if you have brilliant ideas, amazing, and people may not acknowledge that, don't worry. You're going to find a way to find the people that they will know exactly what you have to offer, and it's going to be amazing. Just don't give up, okay? Keep going. Keep going. You're not alone. Thank you guys so much.
Travel
Mwah.
safe.
Thank
Have
you. Have a
fun.
safe
Oh,
flight.
I love the sound. Thank you
All right.
guys.
Bye bye, Katie. Safe travels.
Bye.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
All right. So we can start wrapping up as well. This has been a blast. I
Yes.
mean, there's so much more we could talk about, but we're going to do this. Let's do it again next month.
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess like we'll do final thoughts. So final thoughts and shout yourself out. How about we go with Mariana here? So we'll get Mariana. Oh, wait, look at this. Oh, big screen. Big
Yes.
screen.
I'm getting more comfortable now.
So
Good.
final thoughts. Yeah, you are. I mean, you're just like boom.
Yeah, you know
So
what?
any final thoughts, takeaways that you go on?
I've got this thing, guys, which probably you've noticed now, where as soon as they put me with people, I start moderating. It is not in intentional. I swear. I was doing this other pair and I start and they're like, "Yeah, you're moderating." I was like, "No, I'm sorry," but it's just because I like to ask questions. You know, that's only that, and it does look like I'm moderating something, but I do apologize if it was not intentional.
I
um,
didn't know. I didn't think you were moderating anything. I think it was kind of just that's a conversation.
because I start being, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You know what I mean? I'm just very curious about what people think and what we can do. And I just like to ask a lot of questions because I'm always in the question more than anything else because I want to learn and to hear from people. But anyway,
I'm
yeah.
going to
So
start. I'm going to start a podcast. It's called Peter Knows Nothing. Okay, and it's just like,
Lies.
which is kind of actually just Joe Rogan, which is just basically a Joe Rogan podcast because he just, if you ever notice, he just asks the question. He's like, "I'm an idiot. I don't know anything."
yeah.
So does that make sense? I don't know. And then, but in a way, then he supports it because he actually really knows. But I would say I'm like, I know everything there is to know about nothing.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Well,
love that.
I think because we are learning, right? I actually anyway. We know you have to go, but I just had to say one thing. I actually met people who told me like, "Oh, I've got it. I already know everything. Like, I don't need to talk to this person. I need to read this. Like, I've know this." And I always think there's always something else for us to learn. Like, there's so much from me to learn from Angela, from you, from Katie, from everyone. And of course, we all have our experiences. We've got stuff to share as well. But I'm very curious about learning, and that's it. But as Katie said about Music Green, is our baby on the make. It's gonna be we're gonna launch officially in 10 days in Carnival Brazil, which is very exciting. It's the first kind of sustainable activations to be done there, and also Web3 metaverse. So first NFTs ever to be done as well for Carnival, which is really cool. Release the NFTs are released tomorrow, and then the actual Music Green 10 days, and then we're gonna go to other countries as well, and doing other events, and that's something. Yeah, we really want to be able to bring this the message and bring a better environment to the entertainment industry and to other industries, of course, but just because that's something that we've both been through a lot, and an industry we've been working for so long. So yeah, you can find me on the socials as well. LinkedIn is probably where I'm most active. Peter just shared the links there. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, and it's been an honor to share and experiences and knowledge, and thank you so much.
Awesome, awesome. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I didn't get this in time.
Thank you.
See, I
Beautiful.
resolved it that time.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Angela, final thoughts.
Yes.
Well,
I want to
shout
respond.
yourself out.
Yes, shout. On the questions piece, real quick, I love questions. I ask a lot of questions as well. It's like for me as an introvert, like it's how I get through conversations, because for me, like having conversations and talking about myself is really hard. But if I ask questions, then I get to learn, and then the other person gets to talk a lot, and that always works out really well for me. So I love asking questions. And for me, it's like the more I learn, the more I realize the less I know, right? So I think there's always more to learn. My final thoughts, what I have on the brain is mental health first aid training. So if anyone is interested in getting certified in mental health first aid, I've started up a new brand called Hope with Facts. So you can go to hopewithfacts.com. There's a contact form. So fill it out. Let me know if you're interested. I teach both adult and youth classes. And I'm going to be setting up a class in March. So let me know if you're interested in getting certified. Also, I will be at ETH Denver. So if anyone's coming to Denver, I know, Peter, you're going to be there. Let's definitely find some time to meet up in person. So I'll be around at ETH Denver. Oh, you're not? I thought you were.
Nope.
Julie said
No.
you were going to be there. I lied.
Okay. Julie lied.
Julie
Let me text
lied.
Julie. Julie lied. That's that's the name of the song, my new release.
Nice. I'll also be. What? What were you gonna say?
I'm texting Julie right now.
Okay. I'll also be at NFT NYC. So I am speaking. I'll be there. I'll be in town in New York in April. So we can hopefully meet up then.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right on. Woo-hoo. All
Peter,
right.
Mike is yours.
Right on. I'm just never going to resolve it.
Damn it. It's going to haunt me the rest of the day.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Well, everybody's going to get one now. They're like, "Oh no, here, Peter."
Yeah, they should hire you now, Peter, after this, because they're gonna start selling because of you promoting it, getting royalties.
I'm going to make an NFT. I'm going to like make these every morning, and then like I'll just make like a video of it and like sell it as an NFT, doing every day. So, yeah, Music Industry City. That's so I'm so glad that we all connected here, and looking forward to doing this. We're going to do this monthly. Let's have some fun with this, and we'll get the word out and make this really, it's a great, important discussion. And I like conversations. I mean, we do panels. I mean, I run conferences, and people are like, but you don't like panels. I'm like, yes, correct. I'm like, but how do you not like panels? You run conferences. I'm like, yeah. And my hat's crooked. So, so basically, yeah, no, conversations to me are, that's what we're going to have. And there's going to be more programming coming on musicindustrycity.com. We also have office hours for some of our the paid residents because we have pricing tiers. We have free. You can sign for free, Music Industry City. We also have office. So the office hours are these AMAs. Bring some questions about the industry and so you have office time with me, and I'll bring in some other industry experts. We also have a community get together. It's called the Social Monthly, and that's just going to be all of us hanging out digitally, and we're going to start doing also IRL in different areas. And then there's the town hall, so lifetime residents can come and vote. I don't dare say it's like a DAO because Angela knows how I feel about DAOs, and so Mariana too. I'm not a big fan of the DAOs, but it is. You can vote and bring things because Music Industry City is a public resource. It's really
It's a
for
community,
people,
right? Place for community and
yeah. but it's a public resource like a city is to their residents. So that's how we look at it. And so there's plenty of offerings, and we'd love for you to get involved. Also, you can post in the forums, ask any questions. And that's what's my tagline? If you're not signed up to Music Industry City, what are you even doing with your life? No, that's not. Now that's the one that was the rejected one. But I kind of like it.
We'll play with it.
Yeah, we'll work on that. So that's Music Industry City. Check it out. Follow everybody else here. There you go.
I love.
Thank you
All
so much,
right.
Peter. Thank you,
That's a
Angela.
wrap. All right, everybody. Why don't I put on some exit music?
Cool.
Yes.
All right,
Thanks,
there we go.
Peter.
Some walkout music. Oh. All right, everybody. See ya. Have a great day. Have a great week. Be good. And, see you next time.
See you next time.